There was a girl, and there was a track. There was a brown dog baying at the man, all dressed in black. There was a church, and there was a mill. There was a deep dark forest and a village at the foot of a hill. There was a house, and there was a room. There were 13 women holding hands by the light of the moon. There was a king, there was a god, there was a pearl. There was a book, there was a new sin. There was a girl, there was a girl, there was a girl, there was a girl. There was a God, there was a town. There were 13 men riding north in the name of the crown. There was a king, there was a throne. There were 13 women imprisoned in a tower of stone. A noose, and there was a hand. There were 13 women swinging low from a gallows stand. There was a king, there was a god, there was a plan. There was a girl, there was a new sin. There was a man, there was a man, there was a man, there was a man. There was a king, there was a god, there was a crook. There was a charm, there was a noose, there was a book. There was a king, there was a god, there was a plan. There was a pen, there was a noose, there was a man. There was a king, there was a god, there was a crook. There was a charm, there was a noose, there was a book. There was a king, there was a god, there was a plan. There was a pen, there was a noose, there was a man. There was a king, there was a god, there was a crook.